All right, so I want to give you guys the idea of a function. Okay? So can anybody who was in one of my classes before tell me what the definition of a function is? Good. A function is a rule associating inputs to outputs with each input corresponding to how many outputs?
One.
One and only one. Cool. This is a little bit looser than the kind of common mathematical definition of a function, but it gets the idea across, which is exactly really all I need for you guys. Cool? This thing about a function is a rule associating inputs to outputs, hopefully pretty comprehensible. You guys got that? It's kind of the idea of, well, there's like inputs that happen over here, like maybe you have X and sheep and little stick figure and the number 2, right? And what are the outputs? Oh, I don't know. The outputs are whatever this thing does, right? So the output takes X, or the rule takes X and turns it into Y. It might take sheep and paint them blue. So I've got a blue marker, so that's easy. And it might take my stick figure and give them a hat. And it might just, I don't know, leave the number 2 alone. You guys see that? So it's just a rule, right, or a machine into which I can cram some input, and in return, right, I receive some kind of output. That output might have some kind of obvious relationship to the input, or it sometimes doesn't. You guys see that? Okay. How about each input corresponds to one and only one output? Why are you raising your hand, Arthur?
Right, I'm used to it.
I know, I'll break you of that habit eventually. What do you got?
Say if you put in X, you're only going to get one thing and not something else along with it.
Good. If I put it in X, I get predictability, right? If I put that same thing in later, I'm going to get the same thing back out. You guys see that? So an example of something that's not a function. So not allowed under the idea of a function would be I put the number 1 in, and sometimes I get 2 out, and other times I get 3 out. You guys see that?
2 or negative 2.
But what if it's like if you have like 1 and 2, but they both equal X or whatever?
Okay, so something that's allowed, which looks a little similar, is what if 1 and 2 both go to 0?
Well, that's 1.
You guys see that?
Output for each
So each input has one and only one output, right?
Okay.
But 2 different inputs can certainly go the same place. You guys see that? So I'm allowed to smash things, right? I can smash things together under a function rule, but I can't split things apart. You guys okay with that? All right. So there's one more little caveat here of the inputs have at least one output. You see that? They correspond to one and only one output. I'm not allowed to have a line in my table that looks like 7.
That's it.
I don't know where 7 goes. You guys see that? What does that mean about 7?
Doesn't fit into the function.
And the value.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in the function. It's not a valid input. If you guys know the words domain and range, that would mean that 7 isn't in the domain of the function. Guys follow that?